Today on 100 Huntley Street, we're zeroing in on the true meaning of Christmas. You know, in a season that can feel overwhelming, we're here to walk with you, speak hope into your situation, and remind you of this unshakable truth. You are seen, you are loved, and you are treasured by the Creator of the universe. Stay with us because it all starts right now.
Welcome to 100 Huntley Street. It is Friday, my favorite day of the week, and can you believe it? 20 days from the big day, Christmas Day.
The countdown is officially on 20 days, and are you ready for the holidays?
I just have a little wrapping to do. I have literally bought everything except for the food.
Really?
Because I get it all done in November because we have a busy December, and I don't like how grumpy people get. I don't like fighting for a parking spot. I don't like fighting people it makes me grumpy, and I'm like, that's not the spirit of Christmas.
That's not part of the Christmas.
Yeah, so we get
experience.
it done as early in November as possible.
Well, I have not had a chance yet to do my Christmas shopping. You know, as you're well aware, it has been a busy couple of weeks around here. We had Giving Tuesday, we had our time of fundraising, and it was amazing. And we actually wanted to share something with our viewers.
We have an update. We promised you we would let you know how it went. So all last week and up to Giving Tuesday, we had a goal of $200,000 to help fan the flames of revival across this nation.
Look, there's a choo-choo train.
Oh, there goes the train. There it goes.
Ta-da.
Oh, and we met the goal. We met the goal. You guys are
By Giving Tuesday.
Yes,
which is what we were
before
hoping
Giving Tuesday,
for, yeah.
actually. So on Giving Tuesday, we came up with another goal, $50,000 for Giving Tuesday. And what do you think happened, Joe?
And there it goes. The train is going off the track. We're reaching our 50,000 goal.
We're going up.
We are just so thankful. And we've always said, you know, it's not just about the funds. Yes, we understand it takes funds to keep the ministry going. But it's about being here on television every single day, telling people about Jesus, encouraging them, giving them hope, giving them practical ways to get through difficult times in their lives. And because of your giving, that's ensured that, and we're able to continue that. So we're
And you know what I love about it is I really feel like people watching caught the vision of revival in Canada. They caught what God's doing across this nation. They're excited about it. We're excited about it. And I feel like we're in this partnership to not accept the status quo, but to say, no, God, we want more. We want more for Canada. We want more for our neighbor, for our families. And you guys really stepped up. And so from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. Your generosity and your belief in what we really believe God is doing in this nation, it's the biggest encouragement, the best Christmas present ever. Yeah,
I think it was really important for us to showcase what God is doing in the country, because sometimes we get caught in our little bubbles. You know, we're in our churches, our communities, and we might say, oh, nothing's really happening here. But it's great to be able to kind of pan out a little bit and look at the whole country and see what God is doing. You know, I'm blessed because I get to travel this country on a regular basis, and I can attest to the fact that God is moving. And what's really been exciting, Cheryl, for me to see is young people coming to hear this old guy speak, you know, on a Saturday morning. I was at a men's breakfast in Owen Sound not long ago. There were teenagers there, sitting with 70 and 80-year-olds, and they were communicating and talking. And it was so great to see that God is doing something. And what an honor that we get to report that and share it with our viewers.
It's absolutely amazing. And I think about this time of year, you know, the world is pulling us in every direction.
Oh, yeah.
Busyness, pressure, noise, deadlines, finances, everything. But we wanted to do something different today. Right? We want to help you pause. We want to help you breathe, kind of refocus your heart on the true meaning of Christmas. So take a little Sabbath with us today.
Yeah, you know, Christmas, you know, it's the story of a God who loved us so much that he stepped into our world. You know, that Jesus was born for us. He lived a perfect and sinless life. And then he became that substitute, and he took on our sins, our punishment, our brokenness, so that we could receive forgiveness, hope, and everlasting life with him. And that is the heart of Christmas. Enjoy your food, enjoy all your things and all that, but don't forget the message. That's what it's all about.
And we're going to remind you of that all day and remind ourselves as well. So let's begin this journey together.
This Christmas, be inspired by Crossroads Advent Journey. Come worship the King. Receive daily devotions from Royal Anthems sent directly to your inbox to encourage your faith.
We are fully immersed in the holiday spirit here at 100 Huntley Street, and so it only seems fitting to highlight some new Christmas music that you can add to your collection this year by gospel artist, author, producer Anthony Evans. He's here in the studio to tell us all about it. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
We're so excited, and we're going to hear your Christmas music just in a little bit.
Okay, yes.
But let's talk about it. The Greatest Gift, that's your new release.
Yes, it is. And the album just came out I was actually producing music for a holiday film in February of last year. And we were in the studio, and I was like, let's just keep going. Let's just be in the Christmas spirit in February. And then we all have been given, the premise of it is we've all been given the greatest gift. This is the beginning of our salvation story. And sometimes the holidays is a hard time for people, especially our family. We had a lot of loss around the holidays a few years ago. So it's a reminder that even if things are hard, we've been given the greatest gift, and we have something to celebrate.
That's so good that you would say that. And you're right about this Christmas season. I was going to actually ask you about that because, not to dive too deep too fast,
okay.
But is it 8 family members within 2 years?
Yeah. And it landed at there's some loss after that, but Christmas 2019 was the last 5 days of my mother's life. So it was actually a horrible time for our family, and we had to cling to the promises of God, that he's going to work all this together for our good. And that brought some beauty back into the holiday season. But we've had to reframe the holidays because at this time I'm reminded of some of the greatest loss our families have ever experienced.
That's right. And you're right. You know, so many people right now are experiencing their Christmas first, right? The first without somebody that they loved. Do you have any kind of advice or insight? I mean, there's no way to make it easier. It's going to be hard, but is there a way to get through it?
Yeah, the way I've gotten through it, I can just say what I've done, is really understanding that God's promises, as trite as this may sound, are just true. And that's the bottom line. He's going to finish what he started in each and every single one of us. He's going to work all things together for our good. And when I started to believe what he said, in spite of the way I feel, and walk in the direction of his truth, my feelings followed my feet. I always say that. My feelings followed just hanging on to his truth. And slowly your emotions will catch up with the truth.
Yeah, I really believe that when you don't understand what God's doing or what he's allowing, or however you frame that theologically, you rely on his character, his nature. You go, I don't understand, but you're good. I don't understand, but you're faithful. And you have to declare that over yourself, because how else are you going to get through in that moment when you're just confused? Like, why is this happening to me?
Yeah, that's how you get through, literally. And that the peace that's associated with what you just said, that to me is the greatest gift.
And now for this Christmas album, let's go back to that, because you've actually written some original music for that. So tell me about that.
I wrote a couple original songs. I don't do too much original at Christmas time because people want to hear the songs they know. It's tradition, so we did a lot of that. But a couple originals came about. I was like, this feels right to do these. One's called My Holiday, and it's just my Christmases aren't no more. As you get older, it's not about the stuff. It's about the people you love, your health, those things. So that has become what My Holiday is about. And then the other song's called He Is, which is a reminder that all this beautiful stuff is nice, but he's the reason why we're celebrating.
That's so good. I mean, when you're approaching those Christmas classics, so now I'm wondering, as a producer, people want to hear Silent Night the way they've always heard it.
Yes.
But then again, you want something unique about your album. So how are you approaching these songs?
It's a very delicate recipe of making sure you're true to this melody that the people know, but also giving it like a fun lift. And I think that there's a way to do it where most people are okay, because they can still sing along, even though musically it sounds a little different. Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to hearing more of those songs. And today, of course, we're going to hear one. Now, you've been actually having a really interesting connection to Hollywood that you really didn't anticipate.
Not at all.
So how did that happen?
It happened over a decade ago. I was on the show The Voice. I had a moment where I was called. I was with a friend of mine who y'all may know. His name is Jeremy Camp, a Christian artist. He's been around forever.
Yeah.
He was sitting with me, and I got a call to be on this new show. And he was like, do it. I was in between record deals. So bottom line is I did the show, got connected to a producer. Like I walked off the stage and got a call to work in Hollywood. So I went there thinking it'll be a short 2 months, and it's 12 years later, and I've been invited into rooms with some of the greatest musicians and singers of all time to work with them. So it's a great way to take my ministry outside of the four walls of church and into a world that I believe needs it.
And what do you think about that? When you kind of have a plan, like you're working the plan, you have a direction that you're going, and then God all of a sudden, does something completely different. How do you negotiate those moments of transition? Now
I negotiate them by remembering what he did in the other moments, where he had a different plan than I had, and I got irritated at it. And then down the road, I was like, oh, sorry, this plan's way better. You know what I mean? So that's how I do it now. When he gives me an opportunity that's kind of like, what is going on right now? I know that there is a bigger picture. My dad always says if you're at a parade and you see the float that's right in front of you, but there's always this view from like the blimp, like the Goodyear blimp would be over the parade and you'd see every float down the road. And he's like, that's God's perspective. You see what's coming around the corner, right. And he has a big picture of, yeah, but hold on, because here's something else coming that you're not aware of.
There's a meme I was thinking about today. It's a little girl holding on to a teddy bear. She doesn't want to let it go.
Yeah.
And Jesus is saying, give it over, give it over. And he's holding a gigantic teddy bear behind his back.
Yeah. And she's like, I don't want to give it. Yeah, that's what I've learned.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good thing to remember. I was thinking about that today. You know, you mentioned your family. Now, you come from a well-known family. Can you unpack for me just all who's in it? Like, it's amazing.
Well, our dad is Dr. Tony Evans. Our mom, Dr. Lois Evans, who is now with the Lord, but she helped foster and build a global ministry with him. And then there are 4 of us. Crystal Evans Hurst, an author and speaker, my oldest sister. The oldest, to this day, she's still telling me what to do. You know, the oldest sister, excuse me, then there's Priscilla Shire, my sister, who is a Bible study teacher that accidentally became this actress that's been in movie after movie. And then there's me, the singer, and my brother, Jonathan Evans, who now is one of the pastors at the church my parents started, and he's a beast speaker. So that's the 4 of us.
Oh my gosh. Now, is there pressure to grow up in that family? Like, or is it hard to find your own identity? Like, who is Anthony?
Yeah, because I have my dad's name. So, me being called Anthony and him being called Tony was intentional, just so I could have a little bit of space between me and him, our identities, because everything was just getting so large when I was younger.
Yeah.
But my parents were really intentional, especially my mom, very intentional on, no, you have a specific purpose, you have a specific identity, and putting that in my head. As soon as she'd hear somebody be like, are you going to be a preacher too? She'd be like, you don't have to do that, right? Like that. So that would be the balance.
Bless her.
Yeah.
That's so helpful, because I don't think people can really understand, unless you grow up in a family like that or a family of very accomplished people, the pressure to be like your dad. Like, Tony Evans 2.0.
Yeah, literally. It'd be like if Michael Jordan had a son and the son touched a basketball. Everybody'd be like, ooh, what are you going to do? You have to just, so God has worked in my life to create my own a specific fingerprint and identity, because ultimately he doesn't have grandkids. Like he has you, like you are his child, and it's not because of somebody else. It's because of him wanting to have a specific relationship with you.
Oh, I think that's so encouraging. And, another thing you've done is you have your own production company. You still work with your family. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's called Sherman James Productions, which are my grandfather's names, because my grandfathers made a decision that this family is going to be different on both sides. Like they made a decision before my parents knew each other. Wow. Our family is going to be different. And the ministry that anybody's experienced is because of those 2 men and my grandmother's making a decision about this family. So Sherman James Productions is what it's called. It came out of a time in my life where I was kind of being told no a lot, and you don't fit, you're not quite what we're looking for. And so I just started doing it on my own. So that rejection was a setup for this now, which is me getting to produce a lot of the events my family does together, the tours me and my sisters do, the music for these films, working with these artists. Yeah, it's so great. This album we're talking about now all came from that.
For people who are watching who are kind of like, I don't understand what's happening in my life, or I have these dreams and I haven't been able to achieve them yet. I feel like I'm just kind of in this, stuck place in my life. Now that you can look back and see what God's done for you, what advice would you have for them?
My advice, I actually, the other day I was thinking about the fact that a lot of us go to the gym, and it's kind of a thing. And then one of my friends was talking to me about the benefits and how good he feels. But then he said it's been a lot of resistance training. And in my brain, I'm like, anytime you feel resistance, it is training for you to end up where you want to be. And it's so hard sometimes when you're being resisted, but that training strengthens you for what God has for you. So that's what I would say. And he's also faithful to complete any and everything he started in each and every single one of us. That is another one of the greatest gifts. He's going to do what he said. Bottom line. Period. That's it.
I love that. It's Christmas. We're all running around a little bit with like chickens with their head cut off, especially you as you're releasing this new Christmas music. How can we really keep our relationship with Jesus authentic in this season and really remember like what it's actually about? Not all the things that our culture is telling us it's about.
I think it's intention. I really believe at this point, our culture is so loud. We hold a phone in our hand where we can just swipe and be swallowed into this other world. I think it literally has to be so intentional because there's so many distractions. So even if it's a few moments for me, I'm starting a new practice in my life that I'll tell you about. You didn't ask. Is like, I'm going to put my phone in another room. Wow. When it's time to shut down the day, put my phone in another room and really just spend some time with the Lord. Just get intentional that way. Because right now, I literally will pick up my phone 30 seconds after my intention of spending time with the Lord. You know what I mean? Just to be honest.
Notification pops up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And it's like, oh, I got to get this real quick. So that's just one of the ways. It's just, it will look different, subjective to everybody's life, but just creating moments of intention to remind yourself of who he is and what he's promised.
I think it's a good challenge when we listen to your song today about Christmas. If you're watching, put your phone in a different room and just spend that time. I think sometimes we avoid really facing ourselves or facing God. And that's what the phone does for us. It's that we don't want to get authentic. We don't want to get real. But today's the day. I think today we should do it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming. And I'm so looking forward to hearing your music.
Glad to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Grief is a journey that none of us want to find ourselves on. And yet, it's a journey we all end up on at some point in our lives. Maybe you're nurturing wounds from a loss you faced years ago. Perhaps you're weathering a storm right now, fighting the emotions of a passing that you know is around the corner. Perhaps you've lost someone dear to you. Although it may seem impossible to overcome this immense sorrow, remember that God is with you every step of the way. He assures us of this in His Word. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more. Neither shall there be mourning, nor crying, nor pain anymore, for the former things have passed away. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Cast all your anxieties on Him, because He cares for you. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. So also you have sorrow now, but I will see you again, and your hearts will rejoice, and no one will take your joy from you.
You know, we are so blessed on this program to have some pretty amazing guests. We've had some pretty powerful ones over the years, and Anthony Evans definitely fills that description. He's such a powerhouse, but yet he's such a real person, and he spoke with such authenticity in this interview. What kind of stood out for you in that conversation?
Honestly, I
Probably
think,
a lot.
Yeah, there's a few things. I mean, obviously creating his own identity with his dad being so famous. I think a lot of people, have parents that want them to be in a certain mold, or other people expecting them. And so I thought that was really good. But what really hit me was how many family members he lost in a year.
In a short,
And that how that was to go through Christmas. And even now, it's probably, I think it's like 7 years later, he's still triggered by Christmas because it still brings back the memory of that really terrible year. And you're still missing those people. And I know, like, you've gone through that, Joe.
Yeah, my father passed away now 17 years ago in at the end of October, just a couple of months before Christmas. And you feel bad sometimes as time goes on because the pain isn't as intense as it was back in the day. And you feel like, oh, I should miss him more than this. But you know what I mean?
So it's almost guilt now.
It's almost like guilt. It's like, I shouldn't be getting on with my life and just having a great day. My dad's gone. And so I know there's a lot of people who are going through that same it's an odd experience to go through because you do have to get on with life and you have to keep moving forward. But there's still that gaping hole in your emotionally that's there. And so, we just want people to know that, you don't have to go through this season alone. We do have prayer lines. You can rely on friends and family. And if you are going through a difficult season, make use of those prayer lines. Call today and have someone just pray with you.
Yeah, and one of the things that I've really been reminded of lately is being honest with God. I think sometimes, we try to be strong and we don't articulate what we're really going through. And there's something really powerful I've been finding about just speaking it out loud, like your raw emotions to God. God, I didn't want to have to face Christmas without this person. Yeah. I'm upset that person's gone. Why weren't they healed? I miss them. I don't even want Christmas to come. Everything about Christmas is, terrible. Like, however those raw feelings are, it's like, just tell them to God. He's your dad. He already knows anyway. And there's something about getting it out, getting the pain out. And sometimes we don't have anyone else to talk to. That's why those prayer lines are great, because honestly, maybe you don't feel comfortable talking to your family or friends about it. Maybe they themselves are going through grief, so you don't know where to put it. Well, you don't even have to give your name when we call our prayer lines. You could just be an anonymous whoever. But they are the kindest, sweetest people you will ever meet, and they would love, love, love to pray with you. Please give those prayer lines a call, or just write it down right now so that over the Christmas season, when you hit a particularly tough night or day, you can make sure that you don't go through it alone, because that's what we try to do, and why. We all need that support. That number is 1-866-273-4444. You can also just send an email at prayeracross.ca. Pray for me this Christmas. It's going to be hard without so-and-so. And also, we said this earlier in the week, Joe, look up a Blue Christmas service, which is specifically there for people who are grieving at Christmas time. Just Google it, see what there is in your community, and you might find that really comforting.
Amen. Well, we want to keep you guys focused. We said we wanted just to slow down a little bit on this program and refocus on Jesus as the reason for the season. So let's step into a powerful performance. Here's Anthony Evans with Mary, Did You Know?
Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? And this child that you delivered would soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy would give sight to the blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would calm the storm with his hand? Did you know that your baby boy had walked where angels trod? And when you kissed your little baby, you kissed the face of God. Oh, Mary, did you know? Oh, Mary, did you know? Oh, the blind will see, the deaf will hear, and the dead will live again. The lame will leap, the dumb will speak, the praises of the Lamb. We'll speak praises to the Lamb, praises to the great I am. Oh, we'll speak praises to the Lamb, for He's the great I am. Oh, can you see? Oh, can you see it? Mary, did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creation? Did you know that your baby boy would one day rule the nations? Did you know that your baby boy was heaven's perfect lamb? And this sleeping child you're holding, he's the great I am. He's the great, he's the great I am. He's the great, he's the great I am.
Well, thank you so much, Anthony. What a great song. Now, listen, I know that was for everybody. That was for the whole nation. But that's actually my favorite Christmas song.
Is it? You think he sung it just for you?
I'm not going to say that, but since you mentioned
you said
it,
something to him behind the scenes, like...
I don't know, but I'm glad he sung it. And it's such a beautiful song because I've often thought about like what that would have been like for Mary. You know, one of my favorite places that I've actually been has been in the Vatican in Rome. And when you go to the Vatican, there's this beautiful statue, I think it's by Michelangelo, of when Jesus came down from the cross and Mary is holding him in her lap and she's staring down at her son. Yes, he's our Savior. But that was her little boy. And it just really, really hits me. And so hearing that song, Mary, did you know? Do you understand who this is? It breaks me. And if you're like a regular viewer of the show, we're going to invite you to tune in on Monday because we're going to be talking about some Christmas songs and their history and their origin. And Mary, did you know, is one of the songs we're going to be talking about. So make sure you tune into that. We'll give you the background. It's not what you think. It's actually really, really interesting.
It's so good. And I've seen that, actually. It's in St. Peter's Cathedral. It's La Pieta, I think it's called.
Yes.
Which is, Mary grieving over her son. And, it's good to reconnect with these kinds of things this time of year because we can just get caught up in the busy, right, in the family dynamics and whatever else we're going through.
Well, we promised people we're going to slow down and focus on Jesus. And I think this is one of the elements of the story that we miss sometimes. So I'm glad that we had a chance to stop on it.
And one of the ways you can do that is actually through our Reach magazine. We have Advent devotionals every day. Not only are they in the magazine, but they've been coming to my email every morning. So on top of my regular devotions...
Fancy pants. How'd you do that?
I know. Well,
how do you do that?
You
sign up.
Yes. I think I signed up years ago. Honestly, I get them every year. So it's absolutely amazing. And beyond my regular devotions, just going through Advent and, like you said today, centering yourself back on it.
Yeah.
Now, if you didn't get this in the mail, this is for our monthly donors, but you can go online. You can see it online, crossroads.ca/reach. You can order it. On the other side is our gift catalog. Now, we've got all these really cool gifts here. I don't know if you've taken a good look at it, Joe, but there's some great books, there's mugs, there's ornaments. There's
recipes for Christmas cookies.
Ooh. You noticed that one, did you?
I did notice that. I wonder if there's like a sugar-free option for diabetics. So that would be interesting to check out.
You probably know a way to do that. You probably have a sugar substitute or something.
Yeah, it's called an apple. So we also have a daily devotional calendar. We have a word search, which is kind of really fun. I did it. I found a really important word. W-E. I found it very fast.
Oh,
I think I set a world
amazing,
record.
Joe. So talented.
It's just an easy way to help you. You know, when you support what we're doing here at Crossroads, you can pick out something that's unique. And the goal is that if you order it by December 15th, that you should be able to get it by Christmas. No guarantees. It's a busy time of the year, but hopefully we'll get it in your hands by the 25th.
Yeah, and just again, as we're closing the show, I just wanted to make sure to remind you again that we are so thankful for you and all that you do to pray and support this ministry. We are in this together, and we couldn't be more grateful.
Amen.
We'll see you later.
Have a great weekend. God bless you.
See you Monday.
Right? It's weekend.
Thank you for your ongoing support of Crossroads, a supporter-funded nonprofit organization and member of the Canadian Centre for Christian Charities. Thanks to faithful people like you, we are able to continue producing 100 Huntley Street. You can write to Crossroads, P.O. Box 5100, Burlington, Ontario, L7R4M2, or visit crossroads.ca to learn more about our programs.
Every day, hearts across Canada are being renewed through prayer, worship, and testimonies of faith. From living rooms to church groups, revival is stirring. This is Hope and Revival, a movement fueled by everyday believers giving just $1 a day to share the life-changing message of Jesus through media ministry. Every day, they continue to meet together, praising God, and the Lord added to their numbers daily. That same spirit is alive today through Crossroads and 100 Huntley Street, consistently reaching people anytime, anywhere. When you give $30 or more, request your 2026 Perpetual Prayer Calendar, a prayer a day for hope and encouragement, a daily reminder that revival begins in prayer. Become a monthly partner at $30 a month, or give $100 to cover 100 days of hope through the darkest months. Give today at crossroads.ca/hope, or call 1-800-265-3100. $1 a day for daily hope and revival, because every moment of hope is a life touched by Jesus.